If Donald Trump wins a second stint in the White House, we know he's isolationist. How likely would Trump come to the rescue of Taiwan? And if President Xi firmly believes Trump doesn't want a war with China over Taiwan, would that embolden the Chinese president to invade?
Look, I think it's hard to say. When you look at the people around Trump in his likely second term, they are all China hawks. They regard China as the peer threat, the pacing threat to the United States. So it's quite likely that the people around Donald Trump would say, you know, we must protect US interests in the Indo-Pacific region, and that would include defending Taiwan. Having said that, as you say, Trump is more isolationist. He's more transactional. It's possible that Xi Jinping could think that Trump might be enticed by a deal, for example, that would essentially throw Taiwan under a bus. So I think that it's really hard to say at this point how Trump would respond to a Taiwan scenario, as opposed to, say, a scenario in Europe with NATO, where it's very clear that Trump is not interested in supporting NATO.
And if China hypothetically does invade Taiwan and Donald Trump does not respond and doesn't go to war with China, where does that leave Australia? What do we do?
Well, if that happens, if the US does not intervene to defend Taiwan against China's determination to impose unification through military force against the wishes of the Taiwanese people, and China succeeds in imposing that unification, then I think China would be emboldened to essentially create a Chinese sphere of influence in the Indo-Pacific. It would impose its will on other nations in the region, particularly those in ASEAN and the Southwest Pacific. And I think it would try to impose its will on us. And if the US basically has turned its back on a key ally and partner such as Taiwan, it would also create real concerns in Japan and South Korea that could see them get nuclear weapons. And what that would mean is that Australia would be far more exposed to Chinese pressure. In a Chinese-dominated Indo-Pacific region, we would need to suddenly think about how we develop our own independent defensive capabilities. I'm not suggesting for a moment that Australia would get its own nuclear weapons, but certainly we would need to dramatically increase defence spending to ensure that our security interests are protected.
Malcolm Davis, appreciate your time. Thank you.